tell them check out the blog, bro. YouTube channel called MKO. It's pugilism, boxing algorithm. M stand for Marvin and Kevin's initials KO. Yeah. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? This is the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel, talking all things boxing. And again, we're here at you with another one. Before we get going, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts below about this subject. So right now, I'm just going to speak to you briefly about the war of words on social media between, of course, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury and Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte, or the Wolf Whyte, who howls before his fights and all that sort of business. So lately there's been a lot of back and forth with Fury and Whyte on social media. Whyte has been criticizing Fury's resume, saying that your last 10 opponents don't match my last 10 opponents. And there's a lot of course, back and forth between the fans on that. And it's an interesting subject because, yeah, it's like with Fury's resume, there's a few names who sort of stick out. And Fury's definitely fought the bigger names in Deontay Wilder and Vladimir Klitschko, you know, defeated both of those big names in that. Whereas Whyte's resume is more of a kind of solid one, fought a lot of solid contenders, guys like Parker, guys like Rivas, guys like Chisora, you know, he's fought a lot of more solid guys, but he doesn't have the world title win as yet. So it's like, it's all debatable between the resumes. Both guys' resumes, they've got their strengths and weaknesses. But lately, Dillian Whyte has kind of, they've kind of ramped it up a little bit because Whyte has put up some footage of Tyson Fury basically giving contradictory information in the past compared to what he's saying now. Because what Tyson Fury is basically saying now is that he's not going to fight Dillian Whyte. He's not going to be pushed into a Dillian Whyte fight, even as sort of a mandatory. You know, he says Dillian Whyte just has to wait his turn like a good boy, and you know, maybe we'll get to you later. And Dillian Whyte has in turn put some footage of Tyson Fury from, I guess, I don't know, it's probably from last year or maybe beginning of this year, where Fury, you know, and you can find this on YouTube, where Fury was basically saying, well, look, you know, Wilder wouldn't fight Whyte, I'll fight Whyte, and all I need is for the WBC Diamond belt to be on the line, and I will fight Dillian Whyte. And when that was, I believe that was offered to Fury at some point, for some reason they didn't, you know, that didn't come off. They didn't take that fight. And of course, lately now in the present, Fury's turned it around and says, no, you know, you have to just wait your turn. Everything's been knocked back because of the pandemic. You know, you can't just jump the queue because of your position. There's other guys, you know, I've got the rematch with Wilder, and there's other things that take priority over you. And everything gets knocked back by a year, I think was Fury's analogy. And Fury has sort of responded to Whyte, showing that contradictory footage of 1 minute you're saying you want to fight me for the diamond belt, then when it's offered you don't take it. Fury has responded by showing like a text message that he sent to Dillian Whyte after his Maris Vac performance in Saudi Arabia, which happened on the Joshua Ruiz 2 undercard, duel on the dunes, I think it was, or clash on the dunes, sorry. And in that text, Fury was very nice to Whyte, and he said, you know, look mate, cheer up, don't worry about it, bad performances happen, keep your head up, this 2020 is going to be your year, blah blah blah. So he was showing him, saying, yeah, look, I've been nice to him, and I used to let him train in my gym, and I used to spar with him in my gym, and blah blah blah, and this is how he repays me by talking down about me. And he's gone on to say, well, yeah, you keep talking smack about me, Dillian, but you're just a little boy, and you carry on fighting 40-odd-year-old men in Eddie Hearn's back garden big time. You know, in other words, just sort of poking fun Dillian Whyte situation where he's elected to take the Alexander Povetkin fight, who Povetkin is now about 40 years of age. Yeah, he's got to be at least 40 now. But again, as he proved in his fight against Michael Hunter on the same Clash on the Dunes card, he's a force to be reckoned with. He's still a dangerous guy. He's an older dude, but dangerous dude. But Fury poked a bit of fun at that and said, yeah, you carry on fighting your 40-odd-year-old men big time. So in other words, you know, calling Dillian Whyte small time there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going back and forth between these two guys. Dillian Whyte certainly does want to fight. Dillian Whyte sort of went on after that to bring up the, you know, his claim that I've knocked you down so many times in sparring, you were sobbing, and your coach, in other words at that time would have been Peter Fury, your coach was telling you that if you've, because I think Whyte sparred with him, sparred with Fury before the David Haye fight, which the David Haye fight never happened in the end. And apparently Fury was frustrated in the gym, according to what Whyte said, and Whyte said he was even sobbing. You know, he's put this thing on social media. Yeah, I remember you when you were sobbing, you were crying in the gym, you know, so don't talk reckless about me. And, you know, these guys are kind of going at it. These guys are at a bit of loggerheads. It's quieted down a bit lately, but they've really been sort of going hard on one another. But yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't think that fight happens anytime soon because they've all got obligations. Of course, Whyte's got to beat Povetkin first, and even if he does beat Povetkin, you've then got Fury versus Wilder, which has not been, I don't think there's even been a date confirmed for that yet. And then of course they've apparently signed for the undisputed fight after that, so there's a lot of stuff in the way. Whyte versus Fury could happen, but again, you know, I wouldn't cross my fingers for that one, knowing all the obligations these guys have got. But anyway, that's just my little thoughts on this sort of social media spat between Fury and Whyte. It has been interesting, you know, two interesting characters. Dillian Whyte is like one of these real characters, you know, a guy that just speaks his mind. Tyson Fury's a crafty character. He's a character that can say contradictory things. He can say one thing one day and another thing the next day. And I think that's what sort of the people love about him, the fact that he's a colourful character. He's a bit of a crazy character, a bit erratic, and you never know what's coming next with him. So yeah, we shall see what happens in the future. And until next time, MKO Pugilism over and out.